We're back. We're back. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus because I have been observing a little bit of shift within my own presence. So I'm going to adjust this a little. I'm going to do that. And I think we're good. So I'm back. You're back. We're back. Welcome. Welcome. I actually would love to talk to you a little bit today about what is going on in my life within my own observances and give you an idea as to how I am dealing with these massive shifts of potential that are finding me. So welcome back. Also, this is my channel. I had this moment today where I was like, I have a channel. Like, you know how people like search through the TV and they're looking for something to watch, like something that will feed them, fuel them, love them, they'll never find anything. But then I realized I have my own outlet here where I can feed myself and offer you all of me all at once. So this is a gift to be here. I am not taking this lightly, and so get comfy because today I want to talk to you about tumors. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a part of the reason why I've been a little bit MIA the past week and a half, because I've been observing a very unique potential within my reality, and it's not a tumor, except it is a tumor. Which is even better, I guess. Where do I begin? Where do I even begin to share this story with you? I guess we can go back, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'll start there. I'll start where this whole process started, and let's just see. So bear with me because we're going to do a little bit of time traveling in this, because the way that this story plays out is very much a quantum mechanics potential. So good luck following. I hope that I'm going to be doing a good enough job to explain it to you so that you can find some sort of peace within yourself in your own healing. So about 2 weeks ago, my sacred daughter was at work doing her thing and whatever. I had the whole house to myself, so naturally, when I have the house to myself, I enter my prayer space and I begin to observe majesty within myself. This is not uncommon for me. I love living in a state of active prayer. Like, even in my everyday moments, I invite spirit in and welcome God's potential to be birthed through me. So it's not uncommon for me to be in prayer while no one's around. But this particular prayer was very, very, very interesting because this is where our story begins. Because I guess it has to begin somewhere. When I entered into my prayers, I was flying with our angels. And all of a sudden, this one particular angelic presence, it was a feminine presence, she showed up to me in front of me, and I go, whoa, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I didn't expect to see you. What are you doing here? This angel had nothing to say except to open her heart to me and share her love. No words were exchanged. Telepathy is a muscle in the heart. It is your inheritance in Christ. So as I'm sitting with this angel, we're having this energetic exchange of heart source potential. And she comes over to me and she puts her hand on my back, right between my, what are they called? Scapulas? My chicken wings? What are they called? Shoulder blades. Whoa. The fact that I knew it was a scapula is actually quite funny. Anyway, so this sweet, sweet, sweet angelic presence comes to me We're sharing codes. She puts her hand in between my shoulder blades, and all of a sudden there's a resonance of energy that's transferred from her etheric hand into my biological essence, which I was enjoying through my prayers. And my body kind of vibrated a little bit. But what was more unique was the energetic lays, I guess, wool interweaving of love's potential that was birthed in me. The moment she put her hand on my back, all heaven opened. It was like, boom, and I watched massive shifts of energy, like ding, 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 ding. Things were being burned up and removed and shifted and changed. And I was like, this is great. Wow, yeah, keep going, keep going. It didn't last that long. Time isn't relative either. So, I mean, I could have been gone for a very long time, but within my prayers, it was only a matter of minutes. When I came back into my body and I landed in my body and I felt into my body, all of a sudden I was observing a pain. All of a sudden my shoulder blades were so tight, remembering that she had just shared her energy with and through me. My shoulder blades were so tight. And I was like, well, I'm just a little uncomfortable. You know what? I'm going to ask my daughter for a massage. So as any good mother, I picked up my phone and I said, girl, my shoulders are hurting. My back is a little bit sore. Would you mind giving me a massage tonight? And my sacred daughter, who is 18, by the way, she's 18 and so full of love, responded, Mom, I would love to. Great. I went about my night, had a great evening, stretching my back a little, just, moving it around because it just felt so tight. When she came home, we hung out. She gets to massaging me and I'm like drool, because nobody touches me. I mean, there was a point in my healing when I went 4 straight months without even a hug from my children. Literally, when I tell you nobody touches me, it's literally like I am in this little protective bubble and nobody interacts with me. So as I'm enjoying this massage, I'm like, please, more. And then she's working her way down my back and I can feel her massaging something beside my spine, right against my spine, but I couldn't feel the sensation of her touch. I could feel the pressure associated with her working this knot out, but I couldn't feel the pressure or the physicality of her touch. And so I said to her, I go, girl, I can't feel that. And she goes, yeah, it must be a really big knot. She's like, I don't know what's going on. And I go, no, girl, I can't feel it. And she's like, what do you mean? And I go, my back is numb. And I said to her, I go, I've told you this, right? Like, I've told you that this portion of my back has been numb for about 6 to 7 months. And she's like, what? And I go, yeah. I'm like, I never thought anything of it. And I'm like, but you're telling me that there's something that you're working in right there? The knot is not releasing. I can't feel anything. Full stop, Celeste. Hands off. What is that? Immediately my mind's like, it's a tumor, Sky. It's a freaking tumor. I knew you were sick. I knew blah, 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 blah. My brain went freaking wild. I am a goddess. And so I observed this mental state and I was like, enough, put it into my heart, release it. I don't know what it is right now, but immediately within my presence, I heard, you need to attend a doctor. It's time to see a doctor. Can I be honest with you? A portion of the reason why I was so triggered by my angels suggesting that I go see a doctor is because I don't trust them. I don't trust the medical community to give me the highest presence of care. And when I say presence of care, I do not trust the people within the medical community to come to me with the science of the soul and explain to me what is actually happening. What I have observed through the medical community, and I will get into in another video, because I was diagnosed with all kinds of mental illnesses. They gave me handfuls of medication. They sterilized me emotionally. These medications crippled me, and they, for all intents and purposes, castrated me from spirit. They said the medication would help me. And so I would take these medications, but I would still be trying to kill myself every day. I didn't trust the medical community because as I became more aware of who I am, I realized that there was never anyone external of me anyway, and that God assists in all moments. And so I healed myself from my mental illness. I healed myself from the physical ailments that really did hold me captive within my own body, whether that be polycystic ovarian disease, whether that be the mental illnesses they prescribed or diagnosed me with, whether that be the extra 120 pounds that I was carrying on my body. I felt that the medical community had let me down in every way possible. And so I had a very firm, strict stance on doctors. So when my angels told me, Sky, we need you to go get this looked at through the doctors, through the medical navigation, and I need you to do it without fear. Okay. Okay. So that was about 2 weeks ago. I ended up going into the doctor. I was brave. Honestly, he didn't care about my back. Can I be honest? He didn't care that I had a mass on my back that was protruding beside my spine. You know what he cared about? He was more awe-inspired by the fact that I had lost 111 pounds through loving myself and dancing naked in the mirror every night. He literally was like, that's amazing. He shook my hand and said congratulations to me. But I was there for my back. So he sent me for a quick ultrasound and some blood work, and off I went. Took a few days to get in for the ultrasound and to get the blood work done, to get the results. So fast forward to yesterday, Saturday. I ended up going into the doctor to talk to him about my test results and to see what this means for me. I was diagnosed with a benign tumor, a clump of extra cells, and these cells are known as lipomas. It's a very, very, very common fatty tissue that builds, and it can just exist. There's no treatment, there's no remedy, there's nothing they can do for me, except for me to do everything for me. There was a point in time where I did the results, or I did the test, I did the ultrasound, and 4 days had to pass before I got the test results. And in that 4 days, I want to talk to you about what I observed in spirit. How did I get here? How does one grow a tumor? Because if everything happens spiritually, that this was a manifestation of my soul to show me that there is some portion of my life that is out of balance. And so what I did within the period of time from doing the ultrasound and the testing to receiving the results, I prayed. I got real with myself. I went within my heart and I eradicated and literally tore apart paradigms within me, trying to find what was it that has caused this mass of cells to culminate beside and on my spine. What I found didn't surprise me. Not in the slightest. My higher self already knew this was coming. I've kind of been warned that this was going to happen, but let me get into that. Ah, what a gift. Amen. It started 3 years ago. I want to show you actually. So just so you guys are aware, it is right here, and you might actually be able to see it. There's a mass right beside my spine, okay? This is important to know where this is because I've observed energetic, I don't even know what they are called. I've observed energetic patterning over the past few years that helped me understand how I got here today. 2.5 years ago, I was in the bath one night. I love my baths. That's where I do a lot of my healing and a lot of my travel and angelic work, especially when I was first healing. I lived in the bath. What a gift. I just remembering, what a gift. They would be like 3-hour baths. Anyway, I was in the bath one night and I was flying with Archangel Michael and Gabriel, and we were doing all the things, exploring the different universes and planets, and I was being exposed to all of these different things within my prayer life. And this particular night was interesting because I don't remember what I was doing within my prayers, but what I do remember is all of a sudden, I was in a complete state of peace, a complete state of rest. And all of a sudden, it felt like someone stabbed me right there in the back so hard that I let a scream, like a true shriek out of my mouth because it hurt. It literally felt like someone had stabbed me in person. So much so that I actually got out of the bath. I turned the light on, half expecting to find myself bleeding. It was so painful. I didn't think anything of it. I observed that potential and I said, wow, that was ouchy. Thank you, Lord. I see it. Amen. I didn't think anything of it. Keep in mind, you have to understand that during this time, my angels are asking me to remove anything that no longer resonates within my highest timeline, purpose, and essence. Anything external of my God presence must be removed. At this time in my healing, I was utilizing our sacred mother marijuana as an opportunity to help me expand my consciousness, to help me kind of ease out the ebbs and flows of the massive shifts of energy that I was establishing and working within. And I had used marijuana, weed, loud, whatever you want to call it, as a healing mechanism. But eventually that healing mechanism became a pattern. I didn't need it anymore, but my body continued. After I was stabbed in the back, I started receiving these messages. Sky, I need you to quit smoking weed. 2.5 years ago. Sky, it's important for your evolution in spirit to stop smoking weed. I didn't. I didn't stop. I didn't think I had to. I literally was like, well, I'm God. I can do whatever I want. But the God presence in me desires a very specific road to be traveled. And it's a very narrow road. So fast forward from that stabbing in the bath to about a year ago. And I was sitting outside and I was cleansing our presence, and I had two different angels show up in front of me. Massive, massive angels. And they reached back behind me and they grabbed, starting right here, again, right here, okay? They grabbed an inorganic implant and they pulled this thing out. And when they pulled this thing out of me, it was like a metal, carbon alloy type of skeleton presence that was implanted in my spine, and it gave me fake wings. This particular presence was meant to distract me from my purpose. Fake wings. I didn't think anything of it. I removed it. And so I moved on with my life. Oh, it's no longer there anymore. That means I don't have an addiction. How can you be addicted to anything? How can you be addicted to weed? Weed doesn't even have addictive characteristics. And yet, God was saying to me, I need you to honor yourself and remove yourself from this pattern of behavior that is harming you. Even when they took out the metal implant, the entire skeletal system, and fake wings from my system, I still didn't stop smoking. I still smoked weed every single day, multiple times a day, because I enjoyed how it made me feel. Yes, I was expanding my consciousness. Yes, I was interacting with angels. Yes, I was observing beautiful potentials within myself, but it wasn't necessary for me to hold on to this aspect of healing because I didn't need it anymore. But I still held on. About 7 months ago, Spirit spoke to me and said, Sky, we have asked you for 2 years to stop smoking. If you are not able to do it, we are forced to make this a thing. I love my Sky human presence because this is what humanity is all about. This overcoming yourself in every single moment to give yourself the best possible experience. To listen to the voice within your heart that speaks so boldly and yet so softly. To observe shifts within my reality, to change my own patterns of behavior. This is my authority, purpose, and pleasure within this realm. And yet, for whatever reason, marijuana held on so tight to me, and I held on even tighter to her. You see, marijuana is not just a plant. Yes, it is a plant, but it is consciousness. It is alive, it is breathing, and it is potently powerful within the presence of the Almighty. And so I would use my marijuana as ayahuasca experiences. I learned how to astral travel. I learned how to interact with different dimensions. I learned how to alchemize. I learned all of these different things while enjoying. But I was denying my soul plan. I was denying myself, and I was denying what God desired to experience through me. By not cutting out my addiction, my desire to put weed above my own divinity, that's the issue. I didn't want to cut out something because I thought I relied on it to access heaven. And yet God was speaking inside of me saying, I'm right here. Give it up. You don't need anything external of yourself. I have everything within you. Trust me. Sweet Sky. Sweet, sweet Sky. May I tell you something? I'm sharing this with you today because I want you to understand the ramifications when you do not listen to the presence and the power and the potency of your God presence that is within you. When you deny yourself and you choose to go against your heart and what you know is right, even when your mind tells you, hey, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You don't have a problem. People aren't addicted to weed. That's just your ego talking. You're not your ego. You're bigger than your ego. Like all of these things are going on. All of these things are going on. What is truth? If you are not observing yourself in humble truth and honoring your journey, honoring the presence and the intuition that is gifted to you for your survival and so you can thrive through this environment, then you are denying the very presence of God that exists within you as well. So here I am, as a child of the Almighty, embodied spirit, fully God, fully human, and yet now I have manifested a tumor because I denied my God presence by choosing to remain in these loops of behavior, patterns, conditions within myself, instead of stepping forward and saying, no, I trust my path, I am safe, I am healed, and I can be sober. I don't need anything external of myself. How did I get here? How does one grow a tumor? By denying yourself. Let's talk about that then. So you find out that you have something wrong with you. And your body is acting very strange. There's pains, there's lethargia, there's exhaustion, there's uncomfort. All of these physicalities are happening to you. But on a spiritual level, Spirit is saying, hey girl, I'm trying to get your attention. Hey dude, you gonna roll with me or what? You're gonna keep doing things your way? It's not working. It's not working anymore. Let it go. For that period of time in between when I did my test and I received the results, I spent 2 days specifically observing my mental presence and all the fear that came from this potential. I didn't know if it was cancer. I didn't know if it was a tumor. I didn't know if it was a severely inflamed knot within my muscular tissue. I had no idea. But my mind craved to seek understanding, and yet Spirit said, my love, come inside your heart. You're safe here. Do not make this something that it is not. Because we are so powerful that the entire world is co-created through our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, opinions. And so in that truth, I remained as calm as possible. But for 2 days, I observed these fear patterns and I cried. I just cried. I didn't even know what to do. I just was like, well, I know I'm not dying, but I'm in pain. I know I'm not sick, but I feel this. So I had to disconnect myself from the physicality of what I thought I was feeling and come inside my heart to find out the truth and the origin of this expression. My addiction to marijuana. And this isn't me trying to attach an ego to an addiction. I had someone say that. I think it was on Twitter, someone responded to one of my comments and was like, that's the ego. I'm sick and tired of spiritual people saying that they have addictions and da-da-da. Shut the F up. Shut up. Let everyone have their expression, because you want to know what? My use of sacred marijuana was absolutely uncalled for. I was not utilizing her to honor her presence. I was using her to numb myself. Understand that I numbed myself emotionally through the use of marijuana. And in response, my back numbed itself for the last 7 months. I had no idea that something was growing beside my spine because I couldn't even feel it. Couldn't even feel it. I was so caught up swimming within this feminine energy and enjoying the feminine essence of marijuana that I denied the physicality of my own body. It's about balance. It's about harmony. It's about finding what works for you. Every single thing that is occurring for you, whether you are diagnosed with a tumor, whether you are diagnosed with some other form of anything, it doesn't matter at this point. Remove yourself from the diagnosis, go within and find the root cause. The moment that I found out that it was my back, it was my marijuana, and it was the fake wings that have been established in and throughout my holy presence, I immediately went into our prayers. I immediately began to circulate life force energy, universal healing energy, love, through my presence and into the particular spot that has been mismanaged, really. I started to get sober immediately. This, right now, this video, this is my first day, 24 hours sober. 24 hours sober in years. When I tell you it's been years, actually that's a lie. I went a week last week. A week last year. I was sober for 1 week. But Spirit's like, I don't need you to be sober for 1 week. I need you to practice sobriety within yourself because your divinity is not linked to any material substance. It's you. You're the divine one. You're the one that has access to these potentials. You're the one that is moving through the etheric realms and channeling the presence of the Almighty. You're the one that exists in the presence of the Most High. You don't need anything external of yourself. Yes, there are opportunities to expand our consciousness using various tools, but the moment that you disregard or disrespect and you don't honor them properly, you are cultivating karmic loops even within yourself. So this isn't me saying I have an ego problem and I have to identify myself as an addict. No, this is me saying that I mismanaged the very giftings of God, the provision that God provided me with, the provision that God supplied. I took it, and instead of taking it, enjoying it, sitting with it in a more ritualistic manner, I just was... I feel so great all the time. Yeah, of course you feel great, you're high. Eventually, the marijuana didn't even get me high anymore. It was literally just a program. I accessed such higher states of conscious evolution that I existed within a state of high, like your royal highness, like high. I existed within this state of higher presence in all moments, and even when I smoked, it didn't make any difference because I was already accessing that energy. It was a pattern, a behavioral pattern that had been established within my neural pathways. How do you break a neural pathway? How do you quantum leap into sobriety? How do you quantum leap into another potential? Just like that, you just do. You are a human being capable of shifting your entire life like that. Even last night, it was 2 nights ago, I smoked before bed. And my angels were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, you could still smoke, my love. That's the beautiful thing about Earth. Everything is available to you, but not everything is going to provide you with the abundance that's required for your next steps. My reality and my addiction, my misuse of marijuana held me back from all kinds of different opportunities that I denied myself from. That's the bottom line. They were meant to be denied because I had to deny myself to find myself in pain, in physical discomfort, so that Spirit could reveal to me the actual root of the problem. You do not need anything external of yourself to access Spirit. You're not sick. You don't have cancer. You don't have something that they diagnosed you with. You don't have a tumor. You have a potential. And everything is a potential. And the moment that it's observed through the heart of God, the love of Christ, and through your own holy presence, it just becomes whatever it is. You don't need anything external of yourself. Don't overthink it. Allow yourself to change and allow yourself to boldly change. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just do it. Just shift. Like that. One decision. I could smoke at any point. Anytime I want. But my back manifested a dis-ease, an illness within myself so that I could see the root of the problem and that God desires more for me. This is my journey. I'm not telling you to stop smoking weed. Do whatever you want. It's your body, your life, your choice. But for me, in my journey, in my authority, in my God presence, it's something that I had to release. And so here I am releasing. I'm releasing the toxic relationship that I built, this dependency, this very codependent. No, it's a dependency. Marijuana is not dependent on me. It just exists. I was dependent on it. But again, I was not meant to be reliant or dependent on anything. I am a child of the Almighty. I exist within the state of the Most High, in the throne room of grace and mercy. And so I forgive myself, and I move accordingly now. How do you heal yourself? What are my next steps? When I asked the doctor, I'm like, listen, I do find myself in a little bit of pain. By the end of the day, my back is like radiating heat, spicy pain. And he goes, well, that's normal. And I go, well, is there anything that we can do? What do I stretch? What do you suggest? And he goes, you're fine. He's like, just do whatever you've been doing. I'm sorry. You had me wait 2 hours to meet with a doctor for him to tell me that A, there's nothing they can do about it. B, it's normal to have pain. C, keep doing whatever I'm doing. I looked at him and I said, well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. You're right. I do not need your assistance to heal myself. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I appreciate it. And he said to me, he's like, listen, we don't have the test results back for your blood yet, though. I can't go over your blood work with you. But when we have the test results back, I'll give you a call and you can come in. And I actually laughed in his face. I laughed out loud because I had spent 2 hours waiting for test results when they didn't even have the full test results. They had a portion of the test results. The ultrasound. And so I laughed and I said, with all due respect, you won't catch me coming in here again. I won't come back. Don't call me. I am going to put my faith exactly where it needs to be, in the hands of God. And I'm going to heal myself naturally, without medication, without external people. And I am going to circulate my life force energy, my divine presence in every moment to that area on my back until it is healed. Done it before. I'll do it again. Literally a year ago, I had a little lump on my back right here. And I noticed it, and Spirit was like, girl, it's nothing. Just pray over it. Every single time you think about it, just give kisses. Ask the angels for kisses. You love kisses. Ask the angels for kisses. And so I did. 4 or 5 months later, it went away completely. It's gone. It's gone. Angel